fun. One's named Arugula, and I forget the other one's name. And they make sure that twin representation can show that we're not exactly alike. Yes, we look exactly alike, but we're not alike. And Carl does this one episode. It's one of my favorite ones. It's called the mustache episode. And Carl has a collection of fake mustaches, and they're super fun. And Arugula, I think, gets upset because nobody can tell her apart from her sister. And it's really frustrating. And so Carl decides, so she comes to Carl and says, can I have one of your wigs? Or they end up on a fake mustache so that people will know who she is because of her mustache. And then Carl starts thinking to himself and tells his friends, you know, it's really, we're their friends. And we call them by their long names. He doesn't because, of course, he has a great eye for detail, as most neurodivergent people do. But he's like, that's not fair. So they all go undercover. They all get wigs and big glasses and mustaches from Carl's collection, and they watch the twins, and they start noticing things. One likes to roller skate, one likes to skateboard. One likes pepper on her pizza, one likes, cheese on her pizza or whatever. And so that way they will always be able to tell them apart. So again, social emotional learning under all PBS kid shows. And that one's very cool. And when I do that out in public, we do showings. So we'll have we'll go to a school and PTA or something, and the kids will watch the show, and we'll talk about it, and then we go back and we make our own detective mustaches, and we put them on pipe cleaners and stuff, and we run them around, and it's super fun. And then for kids who are sensitive to things on their face, they can put it on a popsicle stick and hold it up, like a prop. So we try to be conscious of that. But yeah, Carl's great. So if you have neurodivergent people in your life, kids or whatever, and you feel like there's not a lot of representation, Carl is amazing. Also, we get to go inside Carl's mind, and there's a lot of pickles in there and weird goo, but we get to see how he processes information. And it's really beneficial for other kids to be able to have words, because Carl helps give them words about how their mind works and how they're thinking about things. And also neurotypical kids can see, Carl's like my friend Samantha, or whatever. And sometimes it takes her a little bit longer to process. And she's just going through the different things in her brain. So it's really, really helpful. It gives educators and kids and parents great words to describe things and talk about things. I really appreciate it. You're doing fish stuff. I was wondering if you wanted to. Yeah, I'm done. All right, we're gonna pull a couple of names. I will say most of my left stuff is in Spanish, but I do have Molly of Denali. I have this one is in English. It's a game. I got one English, so whoever gets pulled first. If you need English, that's what you get. What you got? Nathan? Nathan! Okay. All right, Nathan, here's what we have. We have a whole Molly of Denali family games, and it has a book. This is in English, these are in Spanish. And then I also have these great activity cards, but they're in Spanish. What would you like? English, yep. I will stop here. Before we pull anybody else, would anyone like resources in Spanish? Okay. I have Molly of Denali game in Spanish, and then I also have these amazing activity cards for kids to do, for you to do with kids. Which one would you like?
I just want the activity cards.
Activity cards. All right. So I didn't have to pull because none of y'all raised hands for Spanish. Unfortunately, that's what I have. But you've got resources for your PBS Kids folders. You got resources in there. I'm looking to see if there's anything else I can give you. And then there's stuff on the table. And then I got bookmarks and pencils and things, so make sure you take those. Looks like that's it. Are you sure? No more Spanish?
I will take one.
Okay. You want the Molly of Denali games or the activity cards?
I'll put the game.
Hey. There you go. There was an English book in there. You want activity cards or a game? Activity cards. Yeah, there's a book.
Can I take the game?
Yeah, okay. And if you have other people you work with who have Spanish speaking, give it to them. You don't have to keep it for yourself. Of course. So that concludes this afternoon's festivities. And you can finish up whatever you're doing. This is me. If you need to contact me, and Alma was here but left, and Isabella Reed is our supervisor. And our lovely assistant Melissa is with us today. I have four more Spanish activity cards if anybody wants them. let them know what you thought about it, and take stuff off the table if you want. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's fine. Yeah, we got stickers and pencils and you're like, oh,
Thought about it. All right, how's it going?
Going well, how are you?
Very well, very well. Cool.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. I have a mustache.
Nice.
Yes.
Love it. Yeah. Oh, yes. So fancy.
I totally left my purse in the gym. That's so crazy. I go get that.
Hi, I'm actually shooting a 360 video right now. I would love to have a conversation with both of you.
Oh, talk to us?
Yeah.
Sure.
So let's put this like right here at the table.
You want more stickers?
Great. So
And more stickers. You got stickers.
it looks there's two cameras on here.
Oh,
So
okay.
360.
So should we
Doesn't
do it
matter.
here?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's 360. All right.
The only thing is that the middle of the camera is
Except for
kind of
there, right?
seen. So try not to be
Yeah,
on
either
that.
in the front or the back.
Yeah, actually better if you were on, if one of you were on your
Oh,
side.
360. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
okay. So, hi, I'm Dr. Jackson.
Amy Reed Ferguson.
Amy, nice to meet you.
You as well.
So you're here for KBTC,
KBTC, your local PBS station
Okay.
here in Western Washington.
right? And where are we right now?
Where are we right now?
Because we're recording this. So.
Oh, we're at the Boys and Girls Club by the Star Center, and I'm not quite sure it's Shats.
What city? In
Oh, Tacoma, yeah.
Yeah.
We're in Tacoma, Washington.
Okay. So the event today, what happened today? What are we doing here?
This was professional development for out-of-school educators,
Okay.
giving them resources and ideas for the upcoming summer, after-school
Right.
activities, whatever they might need.
Okay, cool. And so, what's your,
I'm Melissa and I volunteer. I basically am her assistant
Okay.
at all the events.
right, okay. So what was motivation to get into education and teaching the next generation?
Somebody's got to do it.
Okay,
Somebody's got to do it.
right. So how do you feel about diversity and the fact that we have this new orange president, whatever you call him?
Uh-huh.
This stuff he's talking. How does that make you
The
feel?
administration?
Yeah,
Well, while we're wearing our KBTC shirts, we have to be non-political.
exactly, okay.
So we have to be careful with that. I will say that regardless of who is currently in the administration and power and what their ideas and philosophies are, I still know from getting my teaching degree and from just being the kind of human being that I am, that inclusion and diversity and all of those things, representation, are vitally important for us to have a healthy, happy populace.
Excellent answer. I mean, right down the line. So, not trying to get in trouble. Not trying
Those
to
are
make
just
any.
facts.
Those are
Yeah,
facts.
facts. Those are facts. Yeah, some people don't like facts. So right, they're getting rid of the history books and things like that. Trying to rewrite things. It's really kind of sad. But anyway, so what do you see in the next in the summer? You're doing a program here for the summer. What is your goal? What is your dream to have teachers do with all the learning they've got from today?
Sure. Well, I hope that that they really get to deeply know the kids they're working with, understand their development, meet them where they are, understand their culture, understand their family dynamics, all of those things. Understand. Hopefully, they'll participate in some trauma-informed teaching tips and understanding of that, because most of these people don't have a teaching degree. They haven't gone through the education process to get that. But they still feel passionately about working with kids. And sometimes it can be hard to understand where the kid is coming from if you don't understand the background of what's happening with them, right?
True.
So if you can interact with them in a way, thank you so much. If you can interact with them and develop a program that meets them where they are, that challenges them, but also helps them feel successful because they can do the things, and help them be mentors for younger kids, help them to develop into a whole human being that embraces the ugliness and the beauty in the world, and to help make things better for all of us and for the next generation, because they truly are our next leaders. They are truly the ones who will be taking over.
That is so true. And it's I hate to put you on the spot. I know I've done this already, but teachers, we don't pay them enough, right? And we're relying on them to teach these kids. I mean, they can go and make billions of dollars, literally, but they don't really give back to the
No.
person that taught them,
No.
right? So again, it's kind of sad and it's kind of disappointing, really, the way that the educational system here in the United States works. And so I'll try not to get too political, but it's too late.
When it comes to education, it's hard to do that, though, isn't it?
Well, I will say that the education model in America is, it's kind of like it's an experiment.
Right.
It hasn't been here for very long.
Right.
We're learning as we go. Hopefully we're getting better as we go. I was saying to Melissa during lunch, they have calm corners now where a kid can go over and try to help get regulate their emotions and look at the pictures and develop words and say, this is how I feel.
Oh.
And they can find the words over in the calm corner. When she and I were in school, we had to go, we misbehaved, you go stand in the corner and put your nose in the corner and shame on you.
Right.
And then previous generations before us might have had to sit on a stool with a dunce hat on. Right? So we know it's an experiment. We know we're trying to stay current, understand about trauma, understand what kids need, how the human brain grows and functions and learns.
Right.
So hopefully as we advance, our education system advances too.
Oh.
It's a little bit slower sometimes in keeping up, of course. And maybe teachers don't earn enough. Some people think they earn too much. Maybe they don't earn enough. And they should. They should be paid for their, people say, oh, nursing and teaching, people do that because they love it, because it's their passion.
Right.
And it's like, okay, but they also have to buy groceries and pay rent.
Right.
So just because it's your passion doesn't mean you shouldn't be paid for it.
Right.
And they should be paid according to what they're giving to our society.
That's true.
Sure. Right. I mean,
whether
like
they
you
love
said,
it or not, what
Yes.
they're doing
Yeah.
is integral to the growth and the development of a society.
That's very true.
Yeah. You said, we can teach a kid, I can have a kid in my classroom and that kid grows up and literally goes off and makes billions of dollars without an educator in their life. And it doesn't have to be formal schooling.
No.
But without someone who guided them, who challenged them, who told them to pursue their interest, who provided things to them so that they could, without all of that, they're not able to go out and do those things. Right? And it doesn't have to be a formal setting. Like I said, these people are working with kids outside of the school setting. And yet, some of these kids, they're going to remember these people as some of their favorite people in the whole wide world.
I know.
Who made them feel seen.
Right.
Who did amazing things with them. Who encouraged them to follow that path that they go on later.
You get more support from their teachers than sometimes their own family.
Of course. And it literally does take a village, and we know that families the society is created in a way where it's really hard to not have to work outside of the home or two or more incomes.
Capitalism.
Right, capitalism. And it can be a struggle. And so we know that it does take me helping them find resources to help kids. Right? So that they can be that extra support because, families, grandmas, aunts, uncles, moms, dads, whatever, they're working, they're exhausted, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So it takes all of us to uplift all of us.
Wow.
So whenever we all make that boat float, we all get in and we're better off.
Excellent. I think that's a perfect way to end this conversation.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for talking to us.
Okay.
Do you run this facility?
No. My wife and I have a nonprofit. And so it's Swan Creek Art Academy. It's the name of our nonprofit. We have a lot of digital instruments. We teach art and music.
Fine.
And so, and I have an engineering degree. So I'm trying to get my wife to buy some headsets to do virtuality stuff. Yeah, that'll come later.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really
So
great.
actually, she gave a commencement speech. My wife last night gave a commencement speech to the UWT, the College of Planning, basically.
Nice.
And so yeah, she did that.
Like
so.
city planning? Or,
Yeah, I think it was city planning.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Incredible.
That's really cool.
Okay.
I love
And I
it.
streamed it. It's on my YouTube channel.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's super
And
cool.
she also did some murals for the new Sound Transit Redmond station.
She did the murals?
Yeah.
Because she's an artist.
There you go.
That's amazing. And gosh, we need it. She and I were traveling to Spokane and we were going through things and I'm like, I love it when a city thinks to themselves, we have to have an overpass, but can't we make it beautiful? Can't we just beautify our surroundings? And because the human spirit, those are two of the things that lift us the most. Well, three: nature, music, and art.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're absorbing what we hear, what we see, and what we touch and feel.
Exactly.
And if it's a beautiful thing, then it makes getting through these days a lot easier. Some of the days are pretty rough.
Oh,
so.
goodness. Especially nowadays.
Yes.
LA, the whole, anyway. Yeah, not trying to be too political, but I keep.
I would love to have a conversation with you.
Yes, without wearing these shirts.
Well, we can set it up.
You know,
Let's do that.
but
That's what I'm trying to do.
while we're wearing these,
Yes,
thank
we
you
are.
so
Yes,
much.
we. I think it's no secret that NPR and PBS are under attack from the current administration.
Exactly. That's
So,
right.
and the grant through the Department of Education that funds my position has been pulled, and so I don't have a position anymore.
Wow.
I'm working out my last months, unless they find another grant that can
Right.
pay me to
Yeah.
work there.
Okay.
So, you know, when people say, oh, in the big scheme of things, whatever, and it's like, no, if you start looking really tightly, some of us are losing jobs, some of us, and then that means that I can't come out, then there'll be no education person to come and do these things.
Wow.
And help support people who are working directly with kids.
Right. Right.
So,
Oh, thank you
It's
for
not
that.
always the big picture. It's
it's the
these
minutia.
are the micro
Yeah,
moments
exactly.
that matter within communities.
Of course.
That they're pulling from American communities.
Wow.
Right now.
It's rough sometimes. But, you know, we keep
Okay.
on keeping on.
You have
and
to.
we do what we can, and we try to keep sounding the alarm and saying, even if you don't have funding for it, even if whatever, keep trying to make the world a beautiful place.
Exactly.
Keep helping kids.
Right.
Because
Look
this
to
is
you.
not forever,
Right.
and we can't just throw up our hands and say, well, what's the point?
No.
The point is, this is our community, our society, our world,
That's right.
and we've got to do everything we can to make it better.
Wow. Another great ending piece.
I will stop there.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay, great.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely.
Thanks. We're gonna clean up now.
What should we do with this? I feel like I should give it to them.
Oh, yes, we have fish that we need to put in a trash, but we wanna make sure it goes out, right? Food or,
I would have to say, here, let me find some Boys and Girls Club stuff. And
okay, that would be helpful, thank you.
Yeah, is it the
Huh?
salmon?
It is. It is salmon. We'll wrap it up as best we can, but ultimately, it will be smelly.
Are you originally from?
No, it's a long story. So I was born on the East Coast,
Okay.
and my parents got divorced, so my mom raised me.
Yeah.
And she was a civilian in the Army. And so Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, South Carolina. She did a year at MIT.
All the bases.
And yeah, so, and then when I graduated high school in New Jersey, went to school in Texas, went straight through. When I finished my Ph.D., I came to Seattle and did work at Boeing for 20 years and got retired and met my wife Jasmine, got married on 2/20/2020.
That makes me wed.
You are!
5 years, yeah. It's my birthday actually, February 20th, so, yeah.
That's super sweet. Where'd you find out?
They said that they don't know where the extra bags are. However, if you take like this part